Hello friends, I'm back today with my June TBR. I think I say this about every month, but June should be a very interesting month for me personally. I'm taking a couple of summer courses and then towards the end of the month I will be doing some traveling. Also, before we get into the books that I'm going to be reading this month, I just wanted to give a little reminder and a little bit of a plug for Snark Squad and the weekly topics that we have up and running. The series is called Segway Magic Saturdays, and basically we give you a weekly topic and you answer it by posting a video or writing a blog post that you put up on Saturdays. We go around and we collect all of the videos and all of the responses and we put it in a wrap-up post on the website. For instance, in the month of June, on June 6th, we will be talking about pop culture chicken soup, and that is the media that you consume when you are not feeling well or when you need comfort. June 13th, we'll be talking most cringe-worthy moments in fiction. June 20th, in honor of Father's Day, we'll be talking about our favorite or least favorite fictional fathers. And on June 27th, we'll be sharing our summer read/watch/playlist. So anything that you're looking forward to consuming during the summer. I will link our channel and the Goodreads group in the description. Consider joining along and posting your own replies to these topics. It's a great and fun time. Okay, and shameless plug. That's a little bit of what I'll be doing in June, and here's what I'll be reading. First up, I actually have 3 buddy reads going this month. I really am enjoying buddy reads, clearly, because every time anybody's like, want to read this? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do. My first buddy read is heading into the Fairyland series, and I'll be finishing off the 3rd book, which is The Girl Who Soared Over Fairyland and Cut the Moon in Two, and this is by Catherine M. Valente. I will be reading this along with Samantha, who is a longtime reader of Snark Squad and longtime friend as well. I believe, I don't want to take credit where it isn't due, but I believe she started reading this series because I was just gushing about it for a while there. And so she caught up to the 3rd book, which is where I am, and we're going to be reading this together now. I'm super excited to read with someone because so much of the beauty of these books is the writing, and I just want to share sometimes like the little treasures that I find in her writing. So she can expect lots of emails with just lines that I think are beautiful. Next up, I will be reading Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman with my in real life friend Anastasia. She has been having such an amazing reading year, and I am just enjoying myself following her reading. She doesn't have a booktube, but she does have an Instagram where she's been chronicling her reading, and that's been really entertaining. She's been reading some Gaiman this year. I believe it's her first time picking up Neil Gaiman, and it was mine as well very recently. So I asked if she wanted to read one together, and we put Ocean at the End of the Lane. Next, I have my YA book club pick for the month, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This was actually on my May TBR list, and I didn't quite get around to it, but it worked out well. Like, I ended up just not worrying about it because my YA group picked this for June. So I will be reading this soon. Our meeting is actually like mid-June. I want to make sure I have it read before then. I'm kind of ambivalent towards this. I've heard really, really great things, but because I've been burned before, I'm trying to keep my expectations low. From what I understand, this follows like a fictional but based on ancient Rome kind of empire, and it follows 2 people, a slave and a soldier, who are working to kind of overthrow the empire and change their lots in life. This next book is also a May TBR reject. That sounds kind of harsh. A postponement from my May TBR, and that is The Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Attier. I heard a lot about this book before it came out. I haven't really seen anything so far about people's reactions to it, so I'm still pretty unspoiled and I don't know what to expect. I know that this is inspired by 1001 Nights. It's kind of a retelling, so I will let you know how that goes. Next, I have a book checked out from the library on Overdrive. I actually requested this quite a while ago, but apparently so did everyone else and their mother, and that is The Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. This is a story of 12-year-old David who has recently lost his mother and takes refuge in the books that are up in his attic. I've already started this one, and it's really enchanting so far. I haven't gotten very much into the action, just the setup, but the way that the book talks about reading and books is just kind of made for book lovers, so I'm really liking it so far, and I'm excited to see where the actual action and adventure goes. Next, we have a read that I'm specifically saving for like poolside light travel reading. The author, for some reason in my head, goes kind of perfect with that association, and it is Sarah Dessen and her recent release, Saint Anything. It's been a long time since I've read anything anything by Dessin, but her books got me out of a reading slump when I was about 16 years old. I haven't read anything of hers as an adult, so I'm curious to see how that's gonna go, and I've earmarked this one for some playing or card time. Saint Anything tells the story of a girl whose older brother is arrested after a drunk driving accident. It shakes up her world pretty good, and it opens up a connection between herself and the family of the victim. Next is the book that I received as an e-arc from NetGalley, and that is Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. In this book, Samantha McAllister has OCD, which she keeps a secret from her group of friends, which also happen to be the popular kids. She meets a not so popular girl and hits it off with her right away, and I'm assuming what follows is kind of the push and pull between these two crowds and what makes this main character feel normal. Next, I have another library book, and that is Things We Know by Heart by Jessie Kirby. In this, Quinn Sullivan, our main character, meets the recipient of her boyfriend's donated heart after he died in what I believe was an accident. She doesn't reveal her connection to the heart recipient at first, but things get complicated in the way only a YA book can when I believe she starts catching some feelings for this new guy. This new guy with her boyfriend's heart. As for graphic novels, I have Miss Marvel Volume 2, Generation Y. I really enjoyed the first volume, which I talked about in my wrap-up. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is about now that the origin story is primarily out of the way, and we're going to delve a little bit deeper into who she is as a superhero, or at least that's what I'm assuming and hoping for. So I've got this on tap to read in June. And from the library, I checked out Chew Volumes 1, and this is Volume 2. Volume 1 from the library is really beat up, so I'm holding up Volume 2 because it's just a little bit better to look at. I've actually already finished Volume 1, which was my first read of June, so I'll be hopping into this one, which is significantly longer than Volume 1 as well. I did like the first part. I thought it was a really interesting premise. In this, there is a detective who is a Sabaa, which means that he can eat things and get psychic impressions from them, which, LOL, but ew, is basically what this boils down to. But it's also a good time, so I will be finishing this off in June. And as always, I like to tell you about some things that are coming out in the month of June, which I probably won't get to in the month of June, but that I am excited to read, and we'll see. Sometimes I end up getting these things from the library sooner than I thought, or if I see something on special, then I will pick it up as well. So these are just the releases in June that I am excited for. First, Saint Maisie by Jamie Attenberg, releasing on June 2nd. Next, The Devil You Know by Trish Dollar. I've read two other things by Trish, and it is always a solidly good read. Nothing too amazing, but nothing too terrible. Just really solid contemporary. This is also releasing on June 2nd. The Stars Never Rise by Rachel Vincent, releasing June 9th. The Sacred Lies of Minnow Bly by Stephanie Oakes, also releasing on June 9th. And lastly, on June 23rd, we have Emmy and Oliver by Robin Benway. I'm not going to pick a TBR jar pick because last month's pick was to finish the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, which I did not. I just ended up rereading the first book, so I'm officially putting the second book on this month's TBR, which is Days of Blood and Starlight. I really want to get through the third book as well, but they're both kind of monsterly, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to do both, but I'm being really positive and saying that I will do both. Pray for me. I've never told you guys, but if I ever write a novel, which I probably will not, I want to name it something of something and something, because that is just such a trend in YA, and it's pretty much guaranteed to give you a successful book. Like, it could be anything of anything and anything, and it sounds great, and it will bring you much success. It could be anything. Pick anything. Blades of Mercy and Moonlight. What? I'd read the crap out of that book. It's so easy. So that's it. These are some of the things that I will be reading in the month of June. As always, I padded my list because I like to have options within my own TBR, and also because I always overestimate myself and how much reading I can get done. I always think I can do a lot more than I actually can. Never change, me, never change. Let me know if you've read any of my picks or what you're excited to read in the month of June. Also, seriously, leave me some suggestions for something of something and something. I have a hypothetical novel to write, guys. My success is dependent on you. Happy reading this month, and also to all of my friends on this side of the equator, happy summer. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys soon. The Sacred Lies of Minnow Bly by